Welcome to Dominate, where we discuss strength and conditioning and much more. Malcolm Carter. Nice to be here with you, my man. Tell everyone who you are and what you do.
My name is Malcolm Carter. This is my third off season in LPS. I've been training for my CFL seasons each time. I've been playing for the Montreal Alouettes. It's been a dream come true to be able to play and be able to just train in this kind of atmosphere as well. But yeah.
Nice. So Malcolm, it's a pleasure. I love watching your growth over these years and watching your grind. And what makes you tick? What makes you come back year after year? It could be for football. It could be for something out of football. Who's Malcolm?
Well, for to come back each year, it's just the love of the game, really. Mm-hmm. It's just and I know what I need to do after each season, really. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of when I come back, even when I came back this year, I think I remember coming to you and saying I need to be more explosive. I need to be able to get in and out of my breaks. Mm-hmm. And then 2 weeks later, my program had exactly that in it. But it's knowing that I can be better each year, and for that next season, having that drive to come back and prove the naysayers wrong. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the year, we always have these exit meetings, and people are always wary of them. But I'm no, I want to hear what your thoughts were. I want to know what I can do to get better in this next off season, and that's what really brought me here. Mm-hmm. My one coach said, "I want you 20 pounds heavier." I was done. I got that. And
done. How much weight have you put on since you've been here?
Since I've been here, proper weight, I probably lost 10 pounds of fat, but I gained 30 pounds of muscle.
My man, you are huge compared to when I first met you. It's crazy, and I love seeing it. I like what you said about, naysayers, or, what are some of the things that the naysayers say that keep you motivated or get you going? And I also like to hear, it's beautiful, don't shut them out. Take it in, listen, because those things are going to help you. But what are some of those things that they say, Malcolm?
One thing they say is you weren't strong enough, you're not explosive enough. And I always felt yes, that wasn't the high point of my game, but I never thought that it'd be so detrimental. So I was just okay, let me just really work on that. And I'm for sure I'm not going to stop working on the other things I need to work on, 100%. Because you need to be a well-rounded athlete, and that's one thing that I always wanted to be. I want to be well-rounded, what are the things called? A Swiss Army knife, be able to use me anywhere. Yeah. I just want to be able to be on the field and help my team win. Mm-hmm. If that's any way possible, I'm just going to try and do that.
100%. So the two biggest things that they would say that you're not explosive enough, you're not strong enough. How about the mental aspect?
They just said you always have to make sure you're in it. I know I don't have I get distracted sometimes, but I always try to make sure as soon as the game starts, that's the only thing on my mind. As soon as that first whistle goes, I'm ready to go. And that's the only thing I want to always make sure I have to work on, practices. I want to make sure I'm always in there. But as soon as that game, I'm a game time player. I'm ready to go as soon as that whistle goes.
I've noticed when you said that over watching you the last couple of years, you've developed this switch. You kind of talk. I see you talking to yourself. You think, you talk to yourself. You get hype. And so I'm who's he talking? And I noticed that. What is that? And you're not shy about putting on your music or whatever and just get into that zone. Talk to me about that, because I've noticed it, and that's part and parcel of I've seen your growth in terms of the performance in the gym.
Well, I just feel Jeremy gave me this book with where you have to. It was saying that you need an alter ego.
Alter ego, yeah. There we go.
As soon as I started reading, I was yeah, I can do both, but there's some things that I like to do that isn't helpful to me on the field, and I just need to be I started creating that alter ego just to be
You've
like
been a little too nice. You've been a little too nice.
Just be able to create and be able to like push myself like to that extra level, and that's what I kind of started doing. What like if it's a squat, I just be like, you easily got this. Just like let him come out, and as soon as like I just got the weight, I'm just in that zone, and that's all I'm really ready to do.
I love that, man, because I've noticed, I've been watching, like, it's just there's a switch that goes off, and I said, look at Malcolm. I love it, man.
I just start pacing around.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, Malcolm. Good for you, man, because I find it's not easy, right? And I know a lot of times people don't like when I say that, but the truth is the truth. You just got to find a way. You got to make it easy, and I guess that alter ego helps you to take that. I don't know if it's the right word to say easier path and so on and so, but to help you get through whatever you need to get through to get on the other side. And I appreciate you tapping into that, because it's contagious, and I can see it rubbing off on other athletes. Good on you, man.
Because I feel like a lot of it is, what did they say, for professional athletes, a lot of it is mental.
Yes.
And like I feel like that's what gets a lot of people out of the game. It's like they're not really, that mental aspect isn't really there anymore. Like they lost the love of the game, so like they don't really have that drive. But you got to be able to come back every day and be like, I know I wasn't as good yesterday, but I want to get better today. And that's what.
And it's even more tough right now, going through what you're getting ready. You've been preparing for what? Last season you're ready to go. That got shut down because of COVID. Now you're ready to go now. How does that mentor or that alter ego, or how do you deal with that, I guess, inside the gym and outside the gym?
Well, I feel like I always needed to like take a little break just in between, like just for that mental aspect. Because when you're in the gym, you're pushing yourself to get better, and you're just always pushing yourself, and like you're gonna always hit a little wall.
Right.
And if you just can't get past it on your first try, just take that step back, just get your mind right, and then just push right back through. That's what I kind of did this last off season.
Because it's tough. Because I know as a coach, I don't do well if I don't see a deadline. Like I don't like athletes just coming in to train. Like, what are we preparing for? Like, are we preparing for, we're preparing for a season. That's my holy grail. And I find for those athletes who not gym rats, they want a performance, they want to play, that's mentally tough for them. So you're basically saying you're at your best when you're training for a goal.
Yeah, I could say that's for me. That's me for sure, yeah.
100%. Yeah, I see that's tough for everybody, man. And like some people just like to train, but I believe that you're not really, it's hard to push yourself to the ultimate, especially in this training system, if you don't have a goal in mind, some type of endpoint, some type of reward, going to the off season, going to camp, kicking ass, making that roster, having a great season. I want to go back to when you first came in. And how did you hear about us anyway?
The year before, or 2 years before, I was teammates with Fabian, and I was teammates with Wayne for a little bit. And like I just saw their, not only their physique, but the way they performed on the field, just how explosive they were, how fast they were. And in my mind, I was like, wow, like those two are balling.
They stood out to you.
Yeah. And after that off season, one of my coaches said, I want you to put on 20 pounds. So I was like, my mind didn't really know where I was going to go with that. And then my agent, who's the agent of Wayne and Fabian, told me about this place. And I was a little skeptical at first.
Why were you skeptical?
I just didn't know, because like with lots of gyms, every gym has their own atmosphere. I was unsure how I was going to fit in with and gel with this.
Like with this, like what? Like what was the fear? Like gel with what?
I just wasn't sure about how I would deal with the intensity.
But you figured there was an intensity before you got in here?
Yeah.
How did you figure? I guess that's what I'm getting. How did you, like, I've never met you before. It's just the outside looking in, you can see that there's intensity?
You can just see like the work like everyone's putting in. And I would see just little Instagram stories like little snippets, but you can feel it seething off of everything coming up. So I was just like, oh man, how am I gonna do? And then 3 weeks in, it was like a Tuesday. I know it was a Tuesday because I was pretty comfortable doing my workouts. And I was just walking down the turf zone. I walked in front of Wayne, and Wayne gave it to me. He was just like, what are you doing? Come on. And I saw the intensity, and I was just like, oh man, how am I gonna do? And then after the workout, we go to the change room, and then we chatted up for like half an hour. And I was just like, just seeing the different sides and like how he created the animal just to do his workout. And I was just like, I enjoyed it. I was like, I need to stick around. I need to be able to be able to do that. I need the animal in me. So I just kept trying, kept coming in, and kept working towards that.
That switch, baby. That switch. And now you got it. Like, you see how important that is? And a lot of times what I find through social media or Instagram, a lot of people think that, like, we're not nice people here. We're animals or whatever you want to, like, these guys are just crazy going heavy. No, we're the nicest group you can find, but when it's time to go to work, it's time to go to work. And don't get in my way. And I literally coach my athletes to be that way because pro sports ain't nice.
No.
You got to have that switch. And Jeremy also got that book for me, introduced that book for me, and I read it, and I loved it, and I actually bought it, got that book for my daughter as well. And it's phenomenal because that's exactly what we want to do, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your work ethic. I'm so proud of your focus. Like, it's night and day, your focus. And I just had to, let you know that and let you know how I feel about that. And it's great to see that. And that focus and that alter ego is going to take you, when you're all said and done, dominating your career, it'll take you to everyday life. And right now I'm pretty sure you're applying it and dominate whatever you got in the cards for you in your life. So good on you, man. I want to switch gears. Like, what is your long-term plan? Like, who's Malcolm outside of sport? Who's Malcolm outside of the gym?
Well, I feel like right now I'm trying to focus straight on my career for football, but
so you're locked in. Like, you don't allow any outside.
Because like right now I'm not too sure like how I want to continue. I'm using all the experiences, and that's why I kind of also love the gym. Because I'll just come in some days, and before I even start, someone will come sit down in the locker room, and I'll just start chatting it up just to see like what their mindset is and like what they're thinking about. Because like you can always learn things from other people, and that's what I'm just gonna go with.
100%.
And just like, so I'm not really sure yet, but that's kind of.
But right now your focus is your focus.
I'll focus on the next step.
I have a mathematical equation that I live by every day that helps me, get through whatever or really get things done. It's like focus times intensity equals productivity. And then how you use that is the human, everybody has a capacity to focus on a certain thing, one thing, for a period of time. And it could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes. And man, that formula, I read it in a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And ever since I started using that formula, it really expedited my performance in anything I decide to lock it into, whether it's training, whether it's studying, whether it's reading or whatever, something of importance. So to me, when you said that, you're focused on your career right now, and that's it, 100%. You can notch that up a little bit by just really intensifying that focus. And so I will do a certain amount of time, take a little break, come back to it. All right? My man. So Malcolm Carter, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss, or in terms of just Malcolm as a person, like, or you see these young kids? I like to use our athletes as like, what's that word? Like mentors or leaders, and just not just to see not for them just to see the the highlights and the playing. But, you know, any word of advice for the young ones coming up, you know, in terms of working through adversity and achieving their goals or working towards their goals?
Well, like I remember when I first came in, that's still that first year. I, like you always remind me, but when I accidentally like tweaked my back, and I was out for like two weeks. Like I just didn't come to the gym because I was just like, I don't know what he really wants me to do, and I see it all the time with these young guys. They come in and like me, like they want to push themselves and they kind of just, you know, hurt themselves a little. And it's just always reminding them, like, hey, just come in tomorrow. There's so many other things you can work on around it, just till like it loosens up and we can strengthen that back up. And it's great to see, because when I first came back after those 2 weeks and just talking to everyone in the gym, they're like, yeah, I also take my back, but just make sure to come in so you can keep working on everything. I was just like, oh, this is just the standard here.
It's just part of the process, baby.
I can do that. And like as soon as I got my body like back right, I was like, I'm glad I came back like as soon as possible. As soon as like I was ready to come back. But
and I know it's hard. I would call you and you know, we'd reach out to you, because that's the biggest thing in our system, is that we have a twofold. A lot of times young athletes come in and get caught up in the intensity. So they want to be I can move. I want to be with these guys and these girls moving weight. And I keep saying slow down. Or, you know, their tissues, because a lot of times their tissues not ready yet. So little tweaks and things happen. And a lot of times they take those tweaks and think, oh, I should just stay home, which is like the worst thing an athlete can do. You have to keep moving. And right now, you're way more stronger, have way solider foundation than you have ever had, right? And that's the process. We have a thing here that no training gaps, absolutely no training gaps. I don't care if you can only come in and train your pinky, train your pinky. And I know it's hard to wrap your head around, because a lot of doctors say, oh, you know, stop, don't work out, or, you know, you shouldn't train, and oh, don't lift any weights or this. But anything, you just want to get that blood flow going. And 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10, the athlete always comes back better, always comes back stronger, always comes back faster. Biggest thing is just laying that solid foundation angle. If you're not look at football as a violent game. You're gonna have tweaks all the time. That's life. You gotta play. You know, we're not here to pamper and baby and oh, okay, Malcolm, you know, come back next week when you're fine. No. Get your butt in the gym. And if you just have to pull the sleds all day, you pull the sleds all day.
And you're fine with that, because you will be frustrated. I know I was frustrated to come back in, not being able to do everything exactly, but as soon as like I started doing regular things, and then the next day I'd be like, oh, I can move it better. Oh, I can move better. Oh, I can move better. I'm back to normal. Well, let's just keep moving.
My man. I think that's important. It's perseverance, and we pay attention to detail, and high communication. So it's not just reps and sets and numbers. You know, what are Malcolm's needs? What's going on with Malcolm? Where are you touching yourself? What's going, like, you know, that's why you always see me staring. You always see me, hey, you good? And, you know, I'm feeling you out. Like, that's just my job. And that's our job. That's what we have to do as coaches here, to make sure Malcolm is the best he can be every day he's in the gym, you know? And not every day you're going to be doing the best. You just work with your best, whatever you have that day, right? But the main thing is no training gaps. Just no training gaps. Just keep coming, keep working, and you lay that foundation and you take off, right? Because you're here for a result.
Mm-hmm. You're here for the big. I started working at what I wanted to do, put on some weight, and then this year has been explosiveness. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm starting to get where I want to be. Mm-hmm. As an athlete.
Mm-hmm. Especially going up against Denzel every day. But isn't that like a lot of people shy away from coming? You see how I put you guys in competitive environments all the time? Makes you better. Tell me it didn't makes you better.
Oh yeah. It makes me like the next time I would come into the gym.
I see you getting all mad, like you don't want to lose, right? Yeah, it's only going at it for 10 meters and loaded, unloaded, but that first step, that explosive, that acceleration,
it's very hard to find, I guess, like a long, tall person like myself, and just seeing the different techniques he uses and trying to apply that to myself. Because he's so explosive that I'm just like, yo, I need that.
I need that.
And it's always your first step.
Iron sharpens iron, man. That's just it. Iron sharpens iron. Malcolm, it's been a pleasure, man. Any parting words? Anything you'd like to say? A message to the young bucks coming up?
Man, I just got to keep saying thank you for pushing me each time. And like, always just remember, like, there's always a plan. I know I see some of these young guys, they just want to do some extra stuff after. Like, hey, make sure you just get through your workout. Just get through what's on the list, and then you can do whatever else you want.
Hey, this makes me so, I love it. Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you.
If you still have the energy after, then go ahead. But
Thank you. And that's culture. See that culture we're building? Like, I can see you helping the young guys with their starts. I can see you helping them. And I really appreciate that as a coach. Thank you. Because sometimes coming from an old guy like me, it doesn't come as, it doesn't, you know, get through the same as the athlete, you know, talking to the younger guys. So I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. You've really grown since you've been here, man. And stepping into that leadership role. Appreciate it, Malcolm. Thank you.
Thank you as well.